So on the phone tonight, I have Ryan from the Psycho Killers. It's a Talking Heads tribute band. They're based out of Baltimore, and they're selling out all over the place. Welcome, Ryan, to Something Came from Baltimore.
Hey, Thomas. Thanks for having me.
Could you explain the influences to the Talking Heads on you?
Absolutely. So I remember, when I was young, so I grew up in the 80s, and I remember my dad listening to Talking Heads, and I remember always kind of being drawn to it. The poppy nature, I think, is evident, but I don't think until I got older, I really started to appreciate, how ahead of their time they were. It's something that has been with me since I was little. I've always kept kind of the Talking Heads with me musically. My first band where I was doing original music, we would throw in an occasional cover, and a lot of times it ended up being a Talking Heads song. So, yeah, they've influenced my music playing for many years and continue to do so.
Why did you decide to form the band, the Psycho Killers?
But I had the idea to do the Talking Heads tribute. I didn't know anybody that was doing it. I love that music. I think it's danceable, it's poppy, and I thought, why not give it a try? We knew the guitar player, John Wood. He was kind of the first, person that came to mind when I thought about this, because I knew his voice and his style, and I thought it would really suit Talking Heads. So me, the drummer, and John got together, and right away we knew we had something that worked. And shortly after, we added a couple different pieces, and we've had a few other people here or there, but it'll be our 10-year anniversary in October. So we've been doing it for a while, and people seem to dig it, so it's a pretty cool thing.
What I noticed is that this is what the Talking Heads would be like if they were still around. It seems to me that you were able to really capture the essence of the songs, and you create like a whole dance party where you segue into each song. There's like long kind of jams before you get to the next song. Was that done on purpose?
Yeah, so a lot of my background was, in high school I was into a lot of the jam music, and I like to improvise, and I feel like the Talking Heads music is so built for that. I mean, especially the Remain in Life stuff. It's also groove-oriented, and you can tell that that's what they were doing in the studio. They, put these grooves down, bass and drums pretty much stay the same the whole time, and they kind of come up with the melodies on top of it. So it definitely seemed like a good, outfit for improvisation. So we like to throw it in the show. Sometimes we get a little carried away. We try not to, because it's not typically what you'd expect when you hear Talking Heads. So we don't want to turn off, fans that like the old school, more punk Talking Heads. We still try to do that stuff as well. But we do try to mix it up, improvise. As you mentioned, we like to do those neat transitions, songs that we think have a similar vibe and can kind of lead into one another. It's definitely a staple of what we do.
I would say that your show is about 35 years and older, but are you seeing a younger audience come into your shows?
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I think it's kind of both sides of it. Anybody, I can't think when the Talking Heads stopped touring, but it had to be mid-'80s. So, I mean, there's not that many people that got to see them tour. So certainly there's the older crowd. But again, I think the music translates so well. I was talking about it today with some friends. I mean, some of the music that they put out still sounds like it could be a hit today. So I definitely think there's a younger crowd that's latched onto it. So we do see some younger people. So it's kind of neat to see, the older crowd come out and kind of turn on the younger fans as well. What
would be your top 5 Talking Head songs?
Sure. And this is a lot harder thing to do than it sounds like. I've been kind of racking my brain on this. But I think I came up with a good list. So 5, I put Psycho Killer. I think it's just kind of, as you mentioned, kind of a throwback to the 70s style Talking Heads, what made them cool to begin with. It has that punk vibe to it, but it's so uniquely Talking Heads. Better. once in a lifetime. That was the one that I still could, hearing on the radio in the 80s and then initially being drawn to. Such a great song lyrically. It's so simplistic when you play it, especially I'm a bass player. The bass line is 2 notes, but the song is so strong that it can really, kind of make everything work. So that was on there. Number 3, I put Memories Can't Wait. So a bit more of an obscure one, but again, that heavier edge that they don't really have in a lot of their other songs that I really like. It's neat because a lot of the songs, I didn't know every song when I started Psycho Killer. So, other people in the band were like, let's try this song, and you kind of get into the catalog and start to discover gems, so to speak, like Memories Can't Wait.
Take a walk through the land of shadows. Take a walk through the peaceful meadows. Don't look so disappointed. It isn't what you hoped for, is it? There's a party in my mind.
Number 2, I put Nothing But Flowers. Just an awesome song, awesome message, great lyrics, but especially to play. That's one that you picked up on that we do like to kind of extend out that jam. There's a middle section there where there's a lot of percussion. So we like to kind of break that down and build it back up. So probably my favorite tune to play. And then number 1, I think, is This Must Be the Place, Naive Melody. I think that's one of my all-time favorite songs by any band. I just love the vibe of it. Again, the lyrics, the melody, just the feel. Also, playing that one live, you can tell that one really connects with people. So just kind of, right when we bust into that first groove and people just, their faces light up because it's hard not to smile when you hear that song. So it's like a secret song, that if you're a real Talking Heads fan, but everybody loves it. So, it's just a great tune. Every time it comes on the radio, I can't help but listen to it. And, I have 2 little kids and now they love that song and my wife loves that song. It's hard. A fan of any kind of music, it's hard not to like This Must Be the Place. So that's my top 5 again. That was really hard. There's a lot of other great tunes, but there we go.
You have Tina Weymouth as the bass player for the Talking Heads, and I think I'm a little older than you, but we thought she was the coolest person in the whole entire world, just because when she was in the band, she had a really great look. She did that really cool spin-off with Tom Tom Club, but as an artist, as you look through her catalog and her work and what she does, what do you think of her bass playing?
I think she's so underrated. I mean, again, I kind of throw back to the grooves that are in the music, especially, Remain in Light. Like, every single song is just a groove. And if it wasn't for her and, Chris Vance on drums, that music wouldn't be what it is. Her bass playing is not overly complicated. She's not a bass whiz, but for that band, I think she was perfect. Great at laying down the groove, and there are some more tricky, complicated parts in there. But yeah, I definitely think she was the perfect fit to kind of take them to the next level.
What would you say is your favorite Talking Heads album?
Yeah, another one you stumped me on a little bit. My initial instinct was Stop Making Sense, but I mean, it's not technically an album, but that live, show I think is the best live DVD of a concert ever made. I mean, just start to finish, the way that they conceptualized it, the music just blows my mind every time. But if I had to pick an actual studio album, I think I'd probably go Speaking in Tongues. Again, so many great songs. I love the grooves. Burning Down the House, and just can't it's one after another, just awesome songs of awesome grooves. It's actually the 35th anniversary of that record.
Everybody, get in line. Nothing can come between us. Nothing gets you down. Nothing strikes your fancy. Nothing turns you on. Somebody is waiting in the hallway. Somebody is falling down the stairs. Set someone free. Break someone.
But I think Remain in Light has to be probably one of the near perfect albums of all time.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Remain in Light was my gut instinct, but I felt like that was too easy. Just because it is. There's no denying that how awesome that album is. And even like today, I mean, like EDM music is so popular, and it's drums and bass and the cool groove. And I mean, Talking Heads was doing that 40 years ago. And then it still holds up today. It's really remarkable how forward thinking that album was.
Ryan, the bass player from the Psycho Killers, thank you very much for spending time with me today, talking about one of my favorite bands of all time, the Talking Heads.
Perfect, Thomas. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Now, if they were trying to get a hold of you or your tour schedule, where would the audience, be able to get a hold of you?
Yeah, the easiest place right now is on Facebook, facebook.com/Psycho Killers Band.